Hi, my name is Paul Easton and I'm part of lemonangels.com. Make a difference, change the world. That's what we like to do. And what we do is we look for people that have been fed a lemon, and that's an event where something has happened to them, may not necessarily be their fault, but it's just some sort of occurrence which has happened in their life. And on the call today, we've got Lanai Carter. Are you there, Lanai?
Hi, Paul. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Lanai. Now, what we're going to do in a minute is we're going to have a quick chat with Renee about what's been going on in life and in her family life, particularly over the last period of time, and just see how we can help her out. So, Renee, I'm going to quite happily hand it over to you, and where you go. Tell the viewers and that who know nothing about you at the moment, what's been going on.
Sure. Thanks, Paul. Well, basically, I'm from Australia and I have two boys. My eldest is 15, and just over 3 years ago now, Lindsey, my eldest son, became unwell, and it started with just a simple flu and then glandular fever, and he just never seemed to recover from that. He just continued to be vomiting and headaches and nausea, exhaustion all the time. And that basically started us on this process of visiting numerous doctors and specialists. We kind of went around in circles for quite a while, where he would be referred from doctor to paediatrician to gastroenterologist to rheumatologist to psychologist, and the list just went on. And in the end, the psychologist just kept telling me that my son needed to be at school, and it would be a good idea if he kept continuing with the paediatrician just said he needed to be at school, and it would be a good idea to keep continuing with the psychology appointments.
So, they basically said it was a psychological problem. Is that what you're saying?
Basically, yeah. And I was just, I mean, I guess at that point, well before that point, the mother's instincts had kicked in a long time before, and I just knew that there was something very seriously wrong with my son, and that he was really genuinely not well. And I think a mother and a father can be the best judge of, what's going on with their child. And my jaw almost hit the floor at that point, because I just thought, he had no idea what we were dealing with on a daily basis. From that point on, I guess we just tried to continue on with life as normal as possible, dealing with this illness, whatever it was. We were not sure about. And then Lindsay started describing symptoms of his body freezing and, all the words going out of his head, and back to the doctors again. And basically, the doctor thought he was suffering from anxiety attacks, prescribed antidepressants. This was, another 6 months down the track. And
We're still going down the psychological path, aren't we? Okay, so I get
yeah,
what's going on. You're trying to say here, but anyway, carry on.
yeah. So anyway, once again, mother's instincts. I was not going to give him those antidepressants because I didn't feel he was depressed. I mean, he was depressed, sure, because he'd been sick for so long. But anyway, about another 3 to 4 months later, Lindsay actually suffered a grand mal seizure at home, mid-sentence.
What do you mean by that exactly? I don't know what you mean.
A grand mal seizure is like an epileptic seizure, where he was standing up and basically talking to my husband mid-sentence, and hit the floor and started having a seizure, and was rushed to hospital. And then that triggered their concern that they should do an MRI of his brain. He'd had numerous tests at this point, and just about everything but an MRI. And a week later, the MRI was run. The day after that, we were called back in to have a rerun with some contrast, because there was something that they needed to have a closer look at. And within 24 hours, we were told that our son had a brain tumour. And that was the reason, for him being sick for such a long time. So obviously quite shocking news for us as a family, and very scary, but also in a weird way a sense of relief that we finally knew what was going on with our son.
Yeah, I understand. At least you were given something which was backed up with facts, rather than actually the psychological end of the problem, if you get what I mean. At least you had an answer.
Yeah, that's right. And it sounds weird to say that because when you've been dealing with, something like that for so long, I guess having some understanding is a better space to be in. And so, I guess we were quite optimistic in the beginning, thinking that the tumour was quite small. But we went to the first neurosurgeon and we were basically told by that neurosurgeon that they didn't recommend surgery because of the location of the tumour. So second and third neurosurgeons were met with, and mostly the consensus was that they did not recommend surgery because of the location, or that there were tremendous risks with that surgery because it's right where his speech and learning and development and communication part of the brain lies.
Did they give you a scale of what sort of size it was at that stage at all?
Well, basically at that point the tumour was only appearing to be about 1.5 centimetres, but around the tumour was an area of what they believe is edema, which meant that it was about the size, the whole abnormal area is about the size of a golf ball.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've since been told that they believe that there's actually cancer cells in that area around the tumour as well. So yeah, they basically do believe that it's cancer because of the way it has grown and shrunk on some treatment and grown. So it's sort of been up and down a little bit. So
Okay.
yeah, chemotherapy wasn't recommended due to the type of tumour, and also radiation therapy wasn't recommended because of the location of the tumour. So what that meant was in Australia we were left with no options for our son. We were recommended to go to see a doctor in the US.
Okay.
And so we came over to Texas and he started some non-invasive treatment there. But the tumour appeared to be growing within 4 weeks of that treatment. So they actually recommended we move up to Washington State. And
from the US-based treatment you got, is that what you're meaning?
yeah, for treatment. So basically we've been backwards and forwards to the US over the last 8 months getting treatment for him. And yeah, we're still here.
A lot of travelling. So how many miles are you sort of doing and backwards and forwards and all the rest of it? And how's the rest of the family coping with this?
Well, we've done 3 trips now, and we're hoping to go home probably this week, and we don't know if we will. We may need to come back. We were hoping to get some treatment in Germany, but the cost was just horrific. As you can imagine, being in a foreign country, getting treatment in the US is not cheap. Yeah, and our insurance doesn't cover us in America either. So the plans for Germany kind of went out the window because of the massive costs. And at the moment we just have to do what we can. And just hope for the best. Yeah.
How much were they sort of talking, if you don't mind, how much were they sort of talking about for the Germany treatment?
For Germany, we've been told that the first phase of treatment is approximately 65,000 Australian. And then they're saying that he may need a phase 2 and a phase 3 of treatment. That I would expect that the phase 2 would be similar costs. I'm not sure about phase 3. But then there's all the living costs and airfares and everything on top of that as well. So it's quite a substantial sum.
Are you left with any other options at the moment in the US, or anything that you can look into on top of that, or anything you can go into?
Not really. I mean, the main treatments that we can see are quite popular for brain tumours globally at the moment is this dendritic cell vaccine, and it's not available in Australia. And
Okay.
yeah, so basically I think the problem we also have is that for his type of tumour there's not a lot of places in the world that will actually do this dendritic cell vaccine for this type of tumour. They may do it for other types of tumours, or for Lindsey, he hasn't had a biopsy done, so that poses extra risk. And some of them will only do this treatment if there's a biopsy sample to create the vaccine. So we're looking at places where they can actually create the vaccine using his blood that then creates antibodies to fight the tumour.
Okay, sounds like you've had quite an education in the medical process along the way.
Yeah. So very limited options for brain cancer globally. I mean, it is, in Australia, it's actually one of the largest cancer killers of children. Yeah, and it's actually one of the most poorly funded cancer, types of cancers in Australia.
So, without treatment, what's your proposed process, or what can you expect going forward? You get what I mean?
Basically, moving forward, we are looking at, just doing the best we can. We expect, I mean, talking to my husband today, we expect that we may have to return overseas again. That the periods of time at home may be very short. We've already seen that when he's been home previously and he's been off treatment, the tumour has grown by about 4 millimetres in 7 weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we know that he can't go a lot of time at home without treatment, without that risk. And we expect that we may have to continue to travel for him to get that treatment.
And just tell me a rough outline of what you roughly spent in travelling overseas and etc.
Well, I haven't got exact figures as at like today, but it would be approximately 65,000 at least up until this point over the last 8 months, and
Wow. Okay.
we've managed to keep costs down because he's been seen, by doctors privately. He hasn't had to be admitted to hospital. But if he needed to be admitted to hospital, and let's say he needed some emergency surgery, say in the US, we could be looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's pretty scary over here if you end up in hospital, just because of the way that the system is. So yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I know in Australia and New Zealand we're a bit special. We've got a free treatment system. I know the US is not, it's not quite as friendly, and we probably don't realise how good we've got it in some cases.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to move on to how we sort of connected up and what you've been doing in recent times while this has all been going on.
Yes. So basically, we met through a course that we've been doing, and one of the things that I was looking at, I guess I had that realisation that being here in the States and trying to pay for his medical treatment, that my life was never going to be the same again, and I needed to look at basically setting up a business that I could work from anywhere in the world. And so I actually have set up a business where I'm starting to sell products on Amazon, and that's how we met. And yeah.
And so the main reason I set up this call for anybody watching it is starting a business on its own is the risk, and it's also a lot of work. And selling our products on Amazon, like we both do, it's a good way to make some income. But the way I did this call is I wanted to put this call together so that when your product does go live on Amazon, that we can get you some fast sales and basically some income coming from that product straight away. So if you're watching this video, there'll be share links below it, and there'll also be an area where you can opt in to receive access to Lanai's product. As soon as it goes live, we'll be sending a link out to that so you can purchase that product and hopefully help her business grow and help her with this process of what's going on. And on top of that, between Lanai and I, basically the biggest thing that sells on Amazon is not so much just the product, but actually reviews, and that's unbiased reviews. So we want people to purchase Lanai's product basically and then do a review on it. Now it has to be unbiased and it has to be honest to be within Amazon's rules, but hopefully it's a great product which you can use, and it helps Lanai's business grow. So that will be straight down the bottom of this video, right underneath. If you can help Lanai's business grow so she can fund this travel that's going on, we'd love to have your help. Again, share this video as much as you can and as wide as you can so we can help more people out. This is the overall goal for Lemon Angels. If you're watching this video on YouTube, the URL will be lemonangels.com/Lanai. That's LANAI. Please spread it around as much as possible. We want to help Lanai out. Yeah, I think that's all we can cover at the moment. So hopefully we can get some coverage for as many people watching you, and go from there. Is there anything you want to add before we sort of wrap it up?
I'd just like to say thank you so much, Paul. I really appreciate this, and it means a lot to us, just to get that support to help, kick the business off. And thank you to anyone in advance that might like to buy my product, and give an honest review. I appreciate that so much, and I think it's a great concept, and I'm quite excited to watch it all evolve.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Lemon Angels is something that I've been thinking about for a long time, and I want to put it out there just to make a difference in people's lives and help people like yourself that have been fed a problem. Let's try and work together and use the internet in a nice way. I think that's about it. We'll finish it off. Again, anybody watching this, please share it wide as you can, and spread it around. So we'll sign it off with thanks for your time tonight. By the way, Lemon Angels, make a difference, change the world. Bye for now.
Bye, thanks.